Hello?
Hello, Moriah.
Hi.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
Real good. It's great to speak with you. Thank you.
Yes, you too. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely, absolutely. Um, this is amazing what you're doing.
Thank you.
I'm in a district, and the schools just are really into their music program here,
Right.
and I see a lot of talented people your age, and I mean, they're doing great things, but on a really minor level. You've got
Yeah.
a producer, you've got Jason Bittner and Jack Daly and all these
Mhm.
great players. I mean, you even got a hair and makeup person, right? I mean,
Yeah.
so great photography. You have a product, and you're marketing yourself really well. And most kids your age can't manage that, even though they might have the talent. They
Mhm.
can't get it out to me. How did you manage all that? You obviously got somebody who knows what they're doing behind you.
That's right. Um, Honestly, I mean, obviously I'm not the one making calls and, hey, can you do this, can you do that, but, um, it's, I mean, my producer really he knows everybody basically. He's the one that got a lot of the musicians and reached out to them because he knew them from the past. And, I just kind of grew and stuff like that. And my hair and makeup person is actually my mom is my hair person and my aunt is my makeup person.
There we go. Now that helps,
Mm-hmm.
doesn't it? Now, who's your producer?
Paul Benedetti.
Okay, okay.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, from Modern Day Music.
great, great. And is it his studio that you recorded in?
Yep. Yeah, it's at a place called Modern Day Music in Clifton Park. It's
Okay,
on Route 9,
fantastic. In New York.
New York. Yeah, in New
Right.
York. That's right.
All right, fantastic. Now you write all the songs on the EP. Bring It
Yeah.
On,
Yeah,
and
that's
that
right.
I mean that too is pretty amazing considering the songs.
Thank you.
After somebody listens to these songs and they're very mature. They're well written. Especially Back Off. You know, that was that difficult for you to write? I have to ask you because that's got that severe time change in there. I don't know if it's exactly a time change, but it slows down and speeds up. It's really a complex song to listen to.
hmm
Um, stuff like that. How did you learn to write music like that?
Um, I honestly don't know. I mean, when you, I guess it kind of just came naturally. I mean, when you kind of just learn in the process of the more songs you write, the more you grow in each song that you write. So, Back Off was kind of just, like I heard it in my head and I'm like, yeah, I think that'd be cool there, and I feel it should slow down here, and the verses when I wrote the song were actually written to be a little bit slower. And then we had problems with the click track, so I was like, you know what? Let's just keep it all at one tempo until the bridge, because it was too. But I like it the way it is now. But yeah, I guess it kind of just depends on what you want for the song.
Yeah. Now you with music education, have you had voice lessons, guitar lessons, things like that in school or anything like that?
Um, I've been seeing a voice coach for 5 or 6 years now, since I was 11 or 10, I think, and she's great. She going to voice lessons has really taught me to really take care of my voice and make sure that you're warming up properly, you're doing the right things for your voice, not pushing it too hard, stuff like that. Learning great techniques to help sing, you know, uh, different songs easier.
Right.
Um, as far as any other instrument, I haven't had guitar lessons, and I haven't had any other lessons, but I do take voice lessons
Okay. Okay.
just to learn how to kind of, do it.
Right. You would consider yourself a singer before a guitar player?
Um, no, I was a guitar player before I was a singer.
Wow. Wow. Now self-taught then.
Right. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I was
Wow.
playing ever since I was 5.
I mean, that always blows me away whenever I hear is that somebody's self-taught because I can't teach myself anything.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. How does your songwriting process work? Do you compose on guitar or piano or something like that, or do you write music first, then lyrics, or how does the process actually work?
Um, I write all my songs on my guitar most of the time, and most of the time I'll just be kind of fooling around with my guitar, playing it, doing whatever with it, and then I'm like, you know what, I really like that, or sometimes I'll just hear something that really kind of like just in my head, like a random kind of riff, and I'm like, oh, you know what, I like that, and so then I'll start fooling around and I'll get more, and then I hear all the instruments in my head, and then I write lyrics to it.
All right, awesome, awesome. One of the many hurdles you face is being a younger musician,
Yeah.
still in school. If you were to hit big, like just after high school, and say a band like Halestorm wants you to tour with them, do you go? What are your thoughts about furthering your education in college and things like that? Um, you got some decisions. You're for sure going to have some decisions to make. What are your thoughts about that?
Yes, obviously education is really important, especially in this kind of society.
Hmm.
Um, but honestly, if I was asked to tour with Hailstorm or asked, or made it big, I choose what my path is in life, what God chose for me, and what I know and what I feel is best. And if I was to make it big or was asked to tour with Hailstorm, I would definitely do that.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't necessarily, if I make it big, I don't necessarily see myself in college.
Right, right. And that's understandable for sure.
Right.
When Lizzie Hale asks you to go, you kind of go.
Right.
Um, what now? I noticed you have a video for Marina Guitars. Are those the guitars you play on the album? And do you have an endorsement from them? Correct.
Yep, that's right. Yeah, I'm endorsed with them. They're an awesome company. It's sort of like a family, I guess. Um, um, the guy who is the CEO of the company, Mike Ronelli, he's awesome, and he sent me a really awesome guitar from Merida, obviously, and it was an awesome prototype that I was the first one in the country to own. But these were not the guitars that were tracked on the album because I did not have the endorsement while we were recording the songs. And it's only for acoustic guitars. But it is the guitar that I am playing for like all my acoustic gigs, and I will be recording with it, for in the future.
Very cool. Very cool. Now, what do you play on the recorder? I'm Bring It On.
I'm sorry?
What guitars do you play on Bring It On?
I play an LTD. It's an ESP.
Okay.
It's an EC series.
Right.
Mhm.
And you played that on the whole album. Right.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. But Merida.
Actually, no.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off, but
No, that's fine.
I do. I didn't track the guitars on the album. There are two guitar players. Their names are Jay Rogers and Dave Messick, and They're my two actually current guitar players in my band right now. But they're awesome. They recorded all the guitars on the And I did some, but they did most like the lead stuff and all the cool.
Okay.
They did most of it.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
If you had to choose between singing and playing guitar, what would you choose?
Wow. Why would you ask me that? No, I'm just kidding.
Well, I think about guys like Rick Allen from Def Leppard, and if
Right.
and he lost an arm, and for a drummer, that's pretty major. Um,
Yeah.
so I think about him thinking of not playing, or something like a singer to lose their voice, or whatever that equivalent might be. You do
Mhm.
two things and you do them well. Um,
Thank you.
there's some people that I've talked to where if their guitar player, like Michael Sweet, now if he was asked to just sing for a band, would he be okay with that? So I would pose that question to you. If there's somebody
Mhm.
contacts you and says, "I just want you to play guitar. I don't want you to sing a word." Is that something that you just put the two together really well?
Thank you.
I don't see you doing one or the other. I really see you doing both. So, if you had to choose in that situation, what would you choose?
um, that's really hard because like whenever
Are you there?
I can't
Okay.
just like I sing, but like my body feels so awkward. I need my guitar, and but then if I'm just playing guitar, it feels kind of weird too. But I do love to. I don't have as much as a problem with playing guitar, just guitar on stage, than I do with just singing
Really?
on stage.
Wow.
Yeah, I actually did fill in for um, for one of my good friends and also my former drummer, one of his bands. I did fill in for his band, and I just played guitar and sang some backup vocals, and it was a really fun experience. It was awesome.
Yeah. See, and that's it's not what I know you to do.
Mhm.
Um, and so that's pretty cool that you can adjust that way too. It's,
Yeah, but I
uh,
really would rather be doing both.
yeah. So would I rather you do both. Uh, Now, Michael Sweet told me you're a really humble and sweet person, without any ego or anything. And obviously, talking to you, I can tell he was absolutely correct. Um,
Thank you.
but I guess I have two questions for you. Um, how do you stay grounded when everyone, including myself, is telling you that you're just amazing at what you do? Um, and on the flip side of that, in today's social media, people don't care who they hurt sometimes on comments and things. And,
Right.
that guy that says, little girls should play with Barbies, not guitars,
Mhm.
that's hurtful. How do you balance that, and how do you stay grounded?
Um. Well, first of all, I don't care what the heck that guy thinks.
Good for you.
He
Good for
can
you.
go do whatever. Um, that's that's their problem. There's always gonna be haters. And for the record, I never did play with Barbies, even when I was two. So, well, wherever that guy is, he can know that. And two, I stay grounded. And first of all, it's very hard, obviously, as you were saying, to stay grounded when you're not used to hearing stuff like that. But what I always think of is what is by having an ego and having a big head, like having a fat head. How is it benefiting me and other people? And it's really not. And two, um, that this talent, I mean, is mine, but it was given to me, by God, and ultimately it's not for me, it's for Him. So that's how I stay grounded.
That's beautiful. That's
Because
beautiful.
I know that He can take it away at any second that He wants because He gave it to me.
Right. Very, very well thought.
Thank you.
It's fantastic. Um, Michael also told me you aren't shy. He said you just go out there and get things done. No butterflies, no nervousness. So what's Moriah Formica's biggest fear?
um, like in general, or just like in my stage life and stuff
I
like
would
that.
guess. Let's keep it to music.
Right.
You know,
Okay.
yeah. I mean, either one.
um, I guess my biggest fear with music is maybe um. Gosh, I don't know.
That's okay. You can say
Cause I
no
just, cause I
fear.
just, I just love it so much. It's like, it's like, whatever. Like I always have like obviously pre-show nerves and stuff like that. Like for example, like today I'm sick and I have a show opening up for Mike Tramp from White Lion tonight,
Yeah. Wow.
and so I'm really kind of struggling with that because my voice is very rough today. But um, if I'm sick, I'll get nervous. But other than that, it's kind of like I'll just go up there and usually the crowd's pretty nice. I mean, that's one of the things. I guess that's the biggest fear that I have is that the crowd won't be, nice or something like that.
Yeah,
I guess.
and I see the video of you're here on stage with Striper, um, fans chanting Striper for the encore.
Right.
Um, that's that can be overwhelming, and for you to do what you do, come out and have all those rabid fans receptive to what you're doing says a lot about what you're doing.
Yeah.
So yeah, you just do what you do, and it will all work, and that's pretty obvious. Um,
Thank you.
I pride myself on doing my homework on interviews, and I've done quite a few of these.
Right.
But most of the people that I interview have a past of some kind, or they have I Google their name, and all kinds of things come up. So most of it I'm aware of, just because that's kind of what I do. But I can usually find some things, and I want to be educated about the person. It was difficult with you because you're a new artist. You're young. You don't really have a past per se. But I did come across some of your writings from sixth grade.
Oh my gosh.
Oh yeah. And tell me if you find this. Now I was researching, and I came across this, and you wrote about serendipity. Um, Going to Serendipity. You like the mountains. Um, all of this stuff, and I'm doing it, and I'm researching it, and I'm thinking this is really kind of creepy. And I mean, fame is going to catch you one day, and I know it will. And your life is really under the microscope.
Right.
The more famous you get. Does that creep you out that I know you went to Serendipity and your dad ordered a barbecue burger? I mean, I mean, that's a little creepy to me. It's got to be a little bit unsettling, maybe.
Yeah, it's a little bit kind of like, okay, like how the heck did that get on there? I mean, I can't believe you found that. Here I am in sixth grade, and I'm thinking that all the things that I'm writing are, whatever. When I graduate to seventh, it's going to be all gone, but apparently not. Yeah, that's a little weird. I mean, I don't think too much of it because, I mean, people aren't going to, be being able to get to like my location from seeing my writings from sixth grade. But like, I guess I see what you're saying. Because with that, I guess anybody can put anything, can find anything out. But
yeah.
I guess things just have to be, you have to be aware. Yeah. Like if there's something that I want, I have to be ready for people, invading my space. And,
right.
Unfortunately, I do see that happening a lot already, so.
Okay, yeah. And it it is a good thing.
Mhm.
That I went online and actually research you is a positive thing for you. Um,
Mhm.
but it at the same time, there's nothing that's private seems like anymore. It's very difficult. But
Yeah.
um, let me read to you what you said about music in sixth grade. uh, I love music in ways that I cannot even explain. I always hear a beat, whether it's a bird chirping or the sink is running, or I just have a song stuck in my head or something. And I can really relate with that.
Mhm.
I've got two kids myself, and the babies crying when they were little never bothered me. I always found some kind of rhythmic melody to it, if you will. Construction, clinking glasses at a restaurant. That's all notes to me. So I know what you're saying. Have you always thought about it that way? Because it's odd for somebody, as young as sixth grade to think about it like that.
Mhm.
Is that always how you hear sound and melody?
Um, yeah, I guess, cause like even like when I'm trying to fall asleep, um, like we were just for example, I just took a vacation to Shelter Island, and it this they had no air conditioning, so there was a fan that I would sleep to next all night. I mean, I sleep with fans anyways, but there's this one fan, and it made this clicking noise. And so this whole time, I'm trying to sleep, but, like, I just hear this clicking, and it was, like, so rhythmically. And so I'm like, oh, my gosh, like, I can't go to bed. And I just hear, things with every sound that there is.
Right, right. It's pretty. It's a gift. It really
Mm-hmm.
is.
I'm always tapping on my desk and walking around, and I tap on my stomach and my chest and all sorts of things. I stomp my feet. I'm just like ADD kid.
Boy,
Yeah.
my daughter is here actually, and she's very much the ADD kid. Um, she can relate with that for sure. Um,
Me and you
now,
are like twins.
she says you and her are like twins. I don't know if you heard that, but
I did hear that. Well, I hope. I have two brothers. It would be nice to have a sister.
Come over.
Now, yeah, she says come over, and it's I got to thinking about that. If the EP hits or you do something full length, what about coming over? What about touring? Maybe in the summers or something like that, or are you ready for something like that? Because that's a lot of planning, a lot of management, a lot of road managers, crews, renting instruments, things like that. Is that something you thought about?
Yeah, it is. We have thought about touring, and my dad actually sent our information to a there's a big festival in Austin, Texas, southwest, and
Oh yeah.
yeah, and so he but if they're interested, we're definitely prepared to travel there for that, and it's the life I want. So yeah, I'm definitely prepared to tour and go to different places and stuff like that. I mean, I know it's going to be work, but I have thought about it. Always, every single time we drive past, like, there's this big Albany RV place where I live, and every single time we drive past it, I'm always like, which RV will which bus will be mine? Like, so I do. It is a huge, prominent thought in my head.
Yeah, that's great. That's great, and I hope you do. That would be fantastic. Um,
Yeah.
Now I see you appearing with Striper, and you're listed as a Christian artist.
Mhm.
Obviously, God is in your life, and that's a beautiful thing. Being labeled a Christian artist, obviously something you're comfortable with. And how important is your faith and your religion to your music?
Um, it is very important because without him, I wouldn't be really, I mean, none of this would happen, and I wouldn't really be alive either, but, I don't necessarily, write, not all my songs are obviously about God and faith and stuff like that, but it is very important to my music career. Maybe not my music, like what I write per se. On this EP, it definitely is a prime thing, but for my music physically, it's not like a huge theme, but because I can write about anything, and but for my music career and my path, it is a really huge thing, and it's the most important thing actually. And I mean, like, I don't necessarily want to be. I am an artist. I always say this: I'm not a Christian artist, but I'm an artist who is a Christian.
That's perfect.
So, because if you're labeled and you're stuck in that one genre, like contemporary Christian music on the 93.7, it's like, it's kind of making you stuck, and I don't want to be stuck in that.
Right.
Because I don't write like worship music and stuff.
Right. And, I think, thinking of Michael, with Stryper, they kind of had that where they were kind of stuck, and they, they started to write different things with different themes, and then I noticed people were like, oh, are you not Christian anymore?
Right.
No, we're just writing different things, So yeah, they did get kind of stuck. People expected a certain thing. So yeah, I mean that's a great way of putting it. That not necessarily a Christian artist, but an artist who's Christian. That's
Right.
perfect. Bridget had some questions for you. Bridget is my daughter. About your
Hi,
age.
Bridget.
Hi. Okay, what's normally the content of your music? Like, what do you think? Like, what do you like to write about? Is there like a focus to when you write? Like, is there something to start with and then branch off of?
I guess it all kind of depends on the feel of the music. Like, if I'm like playing around with my guitar or whatever, and I'm like, oh, this sounds this, or this sounds that, or if I'm like really, if I'm feeling very strongly about something. Lately, it's been a lot about like relationships and stuff like that. But also kind of. Also, a lot of my music comes from a very dark place, like not so much empowerment lately I've been writing about, but actually kind of being stuck in something and sorrow and stuff like that. Very deep things. I just write about really what I feel and what I have experienced, even though I'm only 15.
Well, and I think that's the maturity of your music. It really shines through where you're not writing about the One Direction type of writing. Now, I don't want to come down on anybody, but I mean it's kind of shallow. It is. Yours
and unfortunately,
is not.
It's what sells.
Yeah. But yours is definitely not shallow. And yeah, I mean that's very unusual for your age and especially the music itself without the lyrics is also mature. Is very
Thank you.
Complex and serious.
Okay, who are your idols? Like, is there anyone you've always listened to and that's kind of who you, like, go off of? Or is it just, like, you've gone off of what you've listened to since you were little?
I guess as I'm looking at the poster right now, my one band that I've always listened to ever since I was, like even younger than 5, and they're huge influences on me when it comes to getting into guitar and stuff is Aerosmith. That was my first love, I guess, if there's a first love in music is Aerosmith. I love Aerosmith.
Nice.
But my influences right now, like my actual people that influence my music and my stage presence and, just kind of what I'm into is, I guess my biggest role models are definitely Lizzie Hale and Amy Lee, and I also love Maria Brink from In This Moment. In This Moment is my favorite band.
All right.
Yeah. And so I guess, really, I mean, Lizzie Hale will probably be the biggest one just because she is also a female that plays guitar and sings.
Okay, do you listen to strictly, like, what you write, like the metal stuff that you write, or do you, like, branch out to other genres, too?
I mainly, yes, I'm a metal hard rock person, but, like, that's my passion, but I really do enjoy, like, other genres. Like, I love reggae. I love, you know, I actually love Beyonce. I like Beyonce. I like to listen to her a lot. Who else do I love?
Adele?
I really don't like Adele.
Really? Wow.
Me
See
either.
that? Somebody's on your side, Bridge. There's not too many people on your side out there. Everybody.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but I don't like I you know what, I respect anybody as a musician, especially who's as successful as her, but I just really don't like Adele's music. You know, I don't love it. I don't. I mean, I like the older stuff, kind of, but I don't know. I just don't. Yeah. I don't love it.
Yeah, it's
that was the first song. Actually, "Rolling in the Deep" was the first song that I actually sang that people found out that I could sing at my cousin's graduation party.
Well, no recordings of that one.
I think there's a recording, but it's like on my mom's computer somewhere or tucked away, and I don't even know.
Okay, I'll be looking for that one.
Okay, how old were you when you knew you wanted to be a singer? Like, was there a moment that, like, you said, like, I want to be a singer, or did it kind of just gradually, like, show up, that idea?
It kind of, I mean, after that, I mean, I always kind of like to sing, of course, because anybody that's musically inclined is always going to, you know, sing in the shower or do, you know, whatever. And so I would always hear it in the car and just kind of sing along, but I didn't know what a good voice was supposed to sound like because, you know, I was just really young. And then we were doing that karaoke at my cousin's graduation party, and I sang that song, and everybody just kind of circled around, and I'm just kind of like, you know, like what? Like why? And I didn't really understand. And then it was kind of that. It was it, and I joined a program in a place, my producer's place called Modern Day Music, and I was about 10 or 11 years old, and that was kind of like my first, you know, like they put like these little kid bands together with all the students that go there, but it was really awesome. I mean, it was my first like band, I guess, and we were called No Pressure, and it was just a really fun experience, and that's when I knew, like when I joined that program, that this is what I was supposed to do, is sing and play guitar.
That's cool. That is cool. You know, all you cool people that can play guitar and sing like you do, y'all have cool names. You know, I mean, Moriah Formica, I mean, that's just so cool. I mean, that's just a great name, you know.
It actually, you know, Formica means ant in Italian, like the bug.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah, okay. Like the little insect. That's what it means. It's really funny.
Wow, that is funny. So, my last question for you. What's next for Moriah Formica? Do you go to school. School's starting real soon.
Mm-hmm. Unfortunately.
Yeah. you become a regular kid and not, you know, the guitar playing, you know, singer, rock star, dynamo that you are.
Yeah. You got that Hannah Montana thing going
on. Boy, that would, you'd have just about anything you want if you get there. But what's next? Do you do another full-length album? Do you do another EP? Is that in the works? Are you thinking about that? I know you're thinking about touring at some point. But what's immediately next for you?
Yeah, definitely. I have written some other songs, and I hopefully will work on. I want to get working on a full length album, But I'm gonna put out a lot of singles and,
Right.
you know, and just hopefully that it'll progress from there, because it's just not gonna stop.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna stop. It's only gonna get better from here.
Fantastic.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you, Moriah. Take care.
Bye. Bye, Bridget.
Bye.
It's nice to meet you or hear you or whatever.
You too.
All right. I'll see you guys later.
See ya.
Bye.